This program does not represent the views of this station and may be considered offensive to some listeners. This program may contain mature subject matter, including frank discussions of controversial topics. It is intended for mature, open-minded audiences. Discretion is highly advised. This program is entirely independently produced by and is copyrighted by Frank. It is broadcast here under license.
Hi there, this is Irma. Tune in from Monday to Thursday, noon to 2, for the Brad and Irma Show, where we talk to people who think out of the box. natradio.com.
We're back, and
yeah,
here we are.
So speaking of wazoo, though, you have a guy here who's written a book about becoming a seducer.
Let's just tell people that we've got our next guest here in the studio. We've got Frank B Kermit here. Frank, it's good to have you back, because I know we've had you here in the studio before.
It's good to be back, Hugh. Thanks.
And, I know the last time you were here, you were telling us that you were just about to release a book on the internet, but I see you got a couple of hard copies here.
That's right. Well, the last time I was here, I was working on a book entitled Everything Out of Her Mouth is a Test, A Man's Guide to Satisfying the Emotional Needs of Women. And that was going to be about a 700-page ebook. Since then, I've been writing a lot, and I found a way how to, rather than have an electronic book, have hard copy books, paperbacks, and add to that a number of the chapters from that original book have eventually grown and become books of their own.
And that we were just talking to you a few months ago.
That's right.
And now,
so at present time, I have 2 published books, both available on my website, franktalks.com. And I'm currently working on the third book, which I'm hoping to get out by the end of the year. And the third book is entitled, I'm a Man, That's My Job, The Philosophy of a Seducer.
well, I tell you, when we did have you the last time, I was riveted every moment of our conversation that we had, because it seemed to me that, you've got the other book here, From Loser to Seducer.
From Loser to Seducer is actually my autobiography. It covers everything from the time that I was stood up at my prom when I was in my teens, to losing my ex-fiance to one of my best friends in my early 20s, and eventually having no sex for 5 years, and after that entire journey, turning that around and having 5 girlfriends at the same time, going on a poly date where I'm dating 2 girlfriends on the same date, really just changing my entire life around. This was originally just going to be a 30-page chapter in the larger book, and it just, ballooned into 200 pages of an autobiography.
Well, I'll tell you, I guess one of the reasons I found our discussion so riveting was, as a guy, I think probably almost all guys, if not all guys, have dealt with this kind of issue. The issue of rejection with women, the issue of, trying to get a girlfriend or just be with trying to get some love into their life,
or just stay in a relationship, period.
Yeah, so I think it's a universal theme that guys for sure are interested in that somebody that has done the work, has actually explored what it takes to, as you say in the title of the one book, to go from loser to seducer.
And I can tell you, it's not a very pleasant journey. It's not an easy journey. A lot of pain, having to change your identity, having to finally adopt new beliefs that were counter to the original beliefs you had. And that's where a lot of the pain comes from, because as a loser, you have certain beliefs of the way relationships are supposed to go, the way women are supposed to behave, the way men are supposed to behave. And when you find out that all those things that you've believed in almost all your life don't work for you, and you need to go through change, there's an incredible amount of pain associated with that kind of a journey.
But as men from the last generation, most of what we've been taught does not work.
That's right. And when I started this, what I wanted was one unifying theory, that as long as I follow this one rule, I won't make as many mistakes as I used to. And I came up with that rule, and that rule is this. A woman can only play one of 2 roles in any man's life. She's either your mother or she's your lover. She can't be both. What's happened with our generation of men is that we were brought up never to make mom angry, and somehow that transferred to never make your lover angry. So we have certain expectations of our lovers to sort of act like our mothers. This does not generate attraction. Women want to mother their own children. They don't want to mother the man in their life. That causes a lot of resentment.
You know, if anything, a woman wants to be treated like the princess.
More than that. More than that. It's not about pleasing her. It's not about making her happy. I've come down to 10 emotional needs of women. And if you address these 10 emotional needs, she will continuously be attracted to you, and she'll want to actually build a life with you. So, for example, let's look at emotional need number 2. Women need a range of emotions. One of the biggest mistakes our generation of men is making out there is that we're constantly with the mindset of having to make her happy. Well, if you solve all of a woman's problems and you constantly make her happy, she'll get bored. That's not any fun. That's one of the reasons why women love bad boys, because there's an emotional range. It's not about being happy all the time or miserable all the time. But every now and then, you got to give her a variety of emotions. Sometimes you need to make her a little angry because she feels that anger. She feels all these different emotions. Sometimes she wants to feel a little irritated. If you've ever been in a situation where you had everything going really well, and one day she just decides to start arguing with you about something which really doesn't seem important to you as a man, it might be because she needs that emotional range. She needs some sort of emotional upheaval. This is when women get to feel alive, when they have the variety of emotions. As men, we're different.
Are you calling us drama queens, like that we need melodrama in our lives in order to get off? Is that basically it, or is that...
No, because a drama queen is...
I'm all for it. That's
Hold on.
I wonder if it's actually... I wonder if it's...
Call me out.
But isn't it kind of like the men's need to have intimacy, that we have our needs and women have their needs, and maybe women are actually
acknowledging... Wait, you guys want intimacy?
Well, we do, and we want sex too. But those are could be two separate things, and so a woman needs to have her emotions stimulated. Men do too. Men don't necessarily identify it, but there are men who will go out and pick a fight because they need some conflict in their life to resolve the inner turmoil. And I would think that women probably have to exercise that too.
I'd like to address the first question you had asked. Is it about just thinking of all women as drama queens? No. There are some women who need an excessive amount of an emotional range. More than other women, these are who I would call the drama queens. The average woman doesn't need that type of emotional stimulation, but the average woman does need some variety of emotions.
Right. And it's not just getting emotional to say, pick up your clothes off the floor. That's not what we're looking for.
No.
That kind of... That's not.
It would be stimulating discussion or
non-logical
damaging
discussion.
argument.
Non-logical discussion. Talk to her about what she feels about certain things. Don't ask her what she thinks about certain things. They want to talk about the way they feel about certain things. This is where humor comes in. When a woman says she likes a guy with a sense of humor, it's not. She doesn't want to be with a stand-up comedian. She definitely doesn't want to be with a clown. How do I know? I did stand-up comedy for a while, and I can tell you that stand-up comedians and clowns are among the loneliest people in the world. They don't want a guy who's going to make them laugh.
That's the Seinfeld episode, right?
That's right.
Sorry, Jerry, I saw your act.
Yeah. It's the fact that they want an emotional range, and humor is one of the greatest ways where if she's feeling really down, humor can make her feel really good in the span of, 5-10 minutes with a couple of really good jokes. The same way that sometimes nasty humor can take her from feeling really, really good to maybe feeling not so good or feeling even a little angry or a little tense. That's the value of humor.
If the humor is actually at her expense, then, is what you're saying, if I was making light of the situation by trying to make a joke of it.
You need to be careful when you make a joke at a woman's expense, because if you're picking on her, it violates one of her other emotional needs, which is fear of abandonment. Emotional need number 5 is the fear of abandonment. So when you start picking on your woman directly, she might start to feel that this is just you trying to set up an indication that maybe you want to break up with her down the road, maybe you're not happy about an element of the relationship. There's a difference between teasing her, where you're teasing her about something which is really not important and you're both having fun with it, and making fun of her and poking fun at her, which is really just a violation of that emotional need, fear of abandonment.
These sound like good values for friendship too.
They are. I haven't really applied them all to friendship.